What is up, guys? We are going to be looking at, this is like a Herald / Guardian 5-stack. The guy who submitted this is the IO. Full disclosure, I'm not an IO player, so I'm not really going to be able to give you any specific tips on how to play IO. But we'll look at the general stuff and see how it goes. And then you said we could comment on stuff your team does, so we'll do a little bit of that. We'll see what we see. Storm full level 1. First blood is probably worth.
The battle begins.
So you're with the troll bottom.
I love this part.
Not too much to say so far. I'm going for some decent denies. Just kind of focusing on CSing, which seems reasonable to me. I think it's important to like kind of check and see what's going on with the pull camps. Is the position 5? Like, you haven't looked yet. Like, I don't know if they blocked this pull. You could be looking to pull soon. With the lane shoving up and they're being like very passive, like getting pulls off is kind of how you like, you just amp your own efficiency, right? Like, if they're not going to stop you and you're not worried about your carry getting gone on, like these guys playing so passively, right? Be looking to get a pull here, like maybe even the 147 pull, or maybe stacking could be good. So I definitely like kind of be looking to, with how they're how passively they're playing. And like, your harass does not do that much, right? You're an IO. You're hitting these like really big tanky strength off laners. Like, your harass is like not super important here, versus like getting pulls off. Like, now the lane's like really pushing, so like you should really be wanting to pull here, pull this camp. You could even be pulling the hard camp sideways. You're like playing the lane, but like you need to be looking to play for pulls here. Because you're just shoving it into their tower, and like now they're gonna get a bunch of like free XP. Versus if you get a pull off, like you increase your own like gold and farm XP, and you like deny it to them. So kind of the next step for you, I think, is to look to play some of these pulls. So like now you do. You just could have done this earlier. You get a single pull off. I don't mind that you're farming the pull. This is fine because your carry's not like under particular threat. It's like reasonable. Getting a wand. It's like okay. It's good. They're not using a lot of spells, but I feel like normally the heroes would use a lot of spells. So yeah, you're pulling now. So like you are looking to pull. You just could have been doing this like right away, you know? Like, just kind of waited a little bit too long to start doing this. And it's just partially determined by how passive or not passive your opponents decide to be. If your opponents are going to play this passive, like, you can just start pulling super early. I'm going to get the bounty rune. I don't particularly care to like go get that bounty rune if like it's kind of a big waste of time. Like, I think you could have just pulled again. Like, I want you to keep pulling here. Like, I want you to pull this small camp. Because you guys are just consistently getting the lane shoved in, because neither of these heroes know how their abilities work, I guess. Typically, these heroes would be shoving the lane in on you, and then the situation would be totally different. But given what's happening, like, I just want you to be playing for pulls. Like, there's nothing you're doing in the lane matters. Your troll's getting, like, basically free farm, although it appears he's terrible at CSing. But, like, all you can do to, like, increase your efficiency here is, like, play for pulls. Yeah, your troll should have like way more CS. They're like not contesting him at all, so I don't know what's going on there, but Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know why you like stopped moving. Like you can run all the way out here. So it's kind of just a mis-execution on the pull here. Not really sure what the point of that was. Yeah, I don't think his Darkseer knows how his Ion Shell works at all. He used it on your troll. It's funny. So yeah, I still think you could be chain pulling, given how little pressure they're putting on. Like you guys are kind of owning this lane, and you could be owning harder if you were just doing more pulls. And like you can chain pull too. You can like pull the small, and then you can like pull the big camp into the small, or yeah, you can pull the big camp into the small camp when your creeps finish killing the small camp. There's a lot of pulling steps you could be doing here, and you're just like, you're doing it a little bit, and you could just be doing it all the time. You could just be doing it over and over and over, and they wouldn't be stopping you because they're really bad. Let's see when something changes. Oh, you got ganked. That's unfortunate. Yeah, don't ever hit this tower. You're an IO. This is really bad that you're hitting the tower. And, like, it's not like there's nothing you could be doing, right? Like, you could be pulling, like I've been saying. So this is just, like, kind of... Just conceptually, like, you're not doing... Like, you should never be hitting the towers, the position 5. Like, there's always something better you could be doing. In this case, it's like going for the pulls. And either way, you should always just be behind your troll with respect to, like, where their teammates... Where the enemy teammates are. Or team is. Okay, so you're, like, sapping some XP mid while your team's not here. Getting a stack off. Or attempting to. It's kind of a hard camp to stack. Alright, so you come down here and you give your troll some HP. Yeah, you shouldn't be positioned like right on top of him. Like you should be behind him. There's no reason for you to be right on top of him.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
When revenge has been required.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Are fortified.
That was pretty crazy, but I guess it worked out.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Regenerating him back up. It's good. It's good. Nice aggression. It's reasonable.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Gonna make some more stacks.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Visibility.
So you guys defend your tower. I think it'd be good to like you should kind of see what's going on here. Like your storm just kind of died and you had like no vision of what was happening. Like, I need you to like be looking at what's going on, especially because you're a 5 stack. Like you should be saying like I'm going in or something, and like you should be like kind of wanting to like check out what's going on up here. Because your player perspective, like you literally don't even see the storm die. Like happens completely off screen, and you like have tether and relocate and overcharge up. So like, or maybe you're using tether right now. Maybe you don't have tether. I don't know. But like, it'd be something that's like on your radar is like what he's doing. Like maybe you don't save him there, but like I don't know what's going on. Maybe you do. You guys are trying to defend this. Like you can't keep trying to defend this. Like when you've lost these 2 heroes and your troll's just farming. Like they're down here with 5 heroes, and like you know this. So like you need to like play way defensive here. Like the fact that you guys are like kind of running out past the edge of your tower to like fight is like really dumb to me because they're all here. And like you guys are not that strong. right? Your bristle with like one item is like not particularly strong. So I think what you're doing here is kind of crazy. You should just be chilling. Instead, you're like you're like acknowledging they have 5 heroes here and like you're going to like fight them. It like doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so like what are you buying? I want you to buy something since you have a storm. Like I think Soul Ring is reasonable because like you can give Storm extra mana. Io plus Storm is a very potent combo.
Is under attack.
Presumably you know that if you're an Io player. I don't know if you are an Io player. If you're not, then I don't know. Then neither of us are Io players, but he is very good with Storm. So like a Soul Ring is something I would be strongly considering here. Yeah, your positioning here is terrible. Like again, you're just like right click move following your bristle and you like can't do that. Like, you can't be on top of him. Like you are a very squishy support hero. So you need to be positioned accordingly, which is like back here. You always need to be like kind of around the max range of your tether. Like don't be like constantly breaking it, you're so far back, but you definitely should not be on top of him like running into tower range like this. This is insane bad positioning from you. So you just need to fix that for sure. Like it doesn't matter what support you're playing, you just can't be this close to like where the action is going to be starting your support. And it's really bad like as an IO to like feed like that. Like you are the one that enables your cores to be like really strong. So if you're just dying to start fights, like your cores are not as strong as they should be. It's like kind of on you that it's like not going that well. So you're just like out of position. Don't like click on your you have a BKB queue. We'll see if you end up buying this. I would not be getting a BKB here. I was not a hero that you should be like rushing BKB on.
I'll take that.
So you're playing with your bristle a lot, it seems like. But like you guys aren't making like coordinated moves. So you should be like thinking here, like when do we want to like pressure and what are our timings, right? Your Storm's going for his Orchids. Like ideally you kind of want to chill. Like you can push this out, which is good, but then like kind of just jungle around in the area, you know? Like your Troll is going to be, he's got a Battle Fury Yasha, he's going to be getting a BKB. So you kind of want to chill until you have some of these timings, like Orchid and BKB, Aghanims on this guy. So you shouldn't be looking to be too aggressive. The only problem is you're like farming on all 3 of your cores, which I guess for Herald is like pretty common. Right. You guys are going Roche. So I guess okay. Definitely be using your Arcane Ring. I like don't see you using this a lot, but you definitely should be giving your team mana and yourself.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You're like never using it basically. Yeah, again, you're like not really paying attention to like what's going on. Like you need to be like keyed into like what's going on with your Storm here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Like you're behind your bristle, but like you got to be aware that this is like you got to see this on your map, you know, or right, maybe your Storm says something. You got to like look. I don't know what you use for camera positioning. It's a little hard to tell. I don't think you're like obviously edge banding. I don't know, but if you're using camera grip, I recommend using camera grip where you bind. There's like a camera grip hotkey. I don't know exactly where it is. I think it's under hotkeys. Where is it? Oops. Camera grip here. Interface. There's just like hotkeys, interface, camera grip. I have it on mouse 3, which is my mouse wheel press down, and then when I press down my mouse wheel, I like drag the screen around my cursor. Like it really helps like position your camera better. So maybe use something like that if you're not using it, but like you just need to like understand, like you need to see what's happening here and be ready to like tether this guy and like overcharge. Or I guess your overcharge isn't really a defensive ability anymore. It actually does give max health regen, so like maybe looking to relocate out. Like like I said, I'm not an IO player, but like I definitely know you should be like kind of looking at what's going on and like, you know, maybe you can't save him there. I'm not sure, but like should kind of be at least in tune with what's going on. This is crazy that you guys are farming this right now because you just lost your mid hero right here. So like this is a very aggressive area of the map to be farming. I think it's kind of ridiculous that you guys are doing this, and you're really lucky that they're not punishing you. You just don't want to be playing in the enemy triangle. This is like telling them that you want to fight them. Also, again, your positioning. Like, do not stand right on top of this guy. Just in general in Dota, it's never good to be standing right on top of your allies. That's especially so when you're a support in their core, regardless of the actual matchups. But like, you can't just like move command this guy. I mean, I don't know, maybe you're like eating or something at the same time as you're playing Dota. I don't really know why else you'd be doing this. Your positioning here is crazy. Yeah. This is like not really a good fight to be taking either. So like let's look over what happens here. So they kill your storm, and then you guys like run into their triangle, which is kind of crazy. Like, I would draw your attention here. This is happening. Your Venge TPs, so at least somebody on your team takes care of it. If you're deciding that you're not defending your mid tower, you should like kind of just be like chilling then. Like pressuring this tower right here is like pointless. Like there's no reason to do this. Your storm just respawned. Your Venge just TP top. There's no reason to make an aggressive play here where it's really, really hard for your team to connect and really easy for their team to connect. This is just a classic low MMR, like bad fight. Like you should not be doing this at all. And like you're just the IO, you follow your cores around, but you guys are a 5 stack, so I don't know if they're gonna watch this, but you just shouldn't be looking to like aggressively play here. You're not at a timing. Your Bristle doesn't have a Zags, or it's like on the courier or something. So like starting a fight before you have your item is really bad. You have Aegis, so like you can fight, but you're not grouped as a team. Your Storm's dead. Your Venge is in here. There's no reason to take a fight where you're gonna be at a disadvantage for no reason, which is like what you guys do. You just like run and dive a tower as like a 3v5, and then your Storm like eventually shows up. Wow, this actually, it sort of works, but like really it shouldn't. And like hopefully you see that. Like there's no reason to like go for this. To me. What's going on here? So you guys relocate to the fountain? What's going on here? I'm not sure. There's like a replay bug. I'm not sure what I'm saying. Oh, you bought back and you relocated in. I see. So you had to buy back. And then your timer's ticking down and you take your troll with you. Yeah, I don't know. Not really a good fight from you guys. And you are going this BKB, which I just think does not make any sense. Like I said, you're really good with Storm. You should consider getting a Soul Ring to like kind of be able to boost his mana. Otherwise, like Force Staff is really good against Skywrath. It's also really good against the Pit of Malice from Underlord. It's also pretty good against Drow to get away. Glimmer is reasonable against Sky and Underlord and Darkseer. Like Holy Locket is a really good default item. Like you just don't need a BKB, dude. Like you need to fix your positioning, but you don't need a BKB. You should never be looking to buy BKB on support IO. Like almost never. I don't know if it's like your normal build or if you're like trying to 5-head the Skywrath or something, but definitely not the item you should be looking to go. Yeah, so you guys are again like just running into their triangles. This is like classic low MMR Dota. Like I think you guys just don't know what you're supposed to be doing. This is what it looks like. Because if you know what you're supposed to be doing, you just wouldn't be doing this. You just need you need to watch BSJ's like order of objectives video, I guess, to start. Like that's like the basis for like understanding what you should probably be doing. Because like typically as Radiant, you want to get their mid and top tier ones, which you've gotten. You want to take Roche, which you did once, and it's like gonna be respawning soon. And like otherwise you want to be like playing for this like in their top jungle and for this top tier 2 and like have control of mid and top. if you're ahead and you think you can like go fight them, right? You want to do it in this area so that you have control over this Roche area when it respawns. Running into the enemy triangles, the worst possible place on the map for you to fight is Radiant. Like, it's hard for your team to connect. It's easy for the enemy team to connect. And there's no like good objectives nearby. Because Roshan is the opposite side of the map, and that's kind of all that matters in like Dota these days. You know, maybe a low MMR doesn't like shake out that way, but it's basically because nobody plays correctly, right? Like, if you're gonna play correctly, Roshan is what matters. So, and again, you're like running aggressively at them when you're like close to item timings. So like you guys have just like kind of nonsensically like ran at them at like weird timings. Like you need if you want to be aggressive, A, do it up here, and B, do it like at item timings, right? Wait for this guy to finish his BKB, fly it out to you on the courier, and then like group up and smoke and run up here, right? Like you don't need to run into their triangle like a maniac. This is just classic low MMR Dota. Like, denying these Ancients doesn't matter. Like, Drow's free farming her entire jungle for free, and you guys are getting no objectives off of this. Again, your positioning is just horrendous. Like, just please stop being on top of this guy. And, like, notice, like, a Glimmer would be very helpful, or a Force Staff. All these items would be helpful, and, like, the way you're dying. Technically, BKB would also be helpful, but, like, why are you buying a BKB for 4,000 gold when you could buy a Glimmer for less than half that? Like, you'd already have your Glimmer at this point. Or you'd be close. You'd be pretty close. Storm's kind of making crazy solo plays. Yeah, I'd talk more about your teammates, but honestly, with it being a Herald game, there's kind of just too much to talk about. Like, if I were to try and talk about what everybody's, like, doing wrong or could do better, it would take, like, 3 hours, so. So you guys are smoking. You have an item. It's, like, reasonable. You've got your BKB and you're smoking. Alright, it's, like, kind of what I was hoping you'd do earlier. You just don't have to run into their triangle in the meantime while you're waiting to do this. Like, you just farm your jungle or, like, casually farm like up here or your triangle while you're waiting for the item, and then do this without doing the throws like in their triangle. So definitely you're just prioritizing playing around your troll. I guess that's fine. This fight goes pretty well. I don't mind that you die there. It's like kind of a good fight from your team. What you should be looking to do. Alright, so what do you do now? Right, you want to fight. What do? So you got to clean up your lanes is the key. So like this lane to me is the standout. Like who's going to go up here and push this out? It shouldn't really be you. There's more of a 5-man stack type thing. Like again, your troll, like if whoever's playing this troll, Sniffles, if you're ever watching this video, please stop running into the enemy triangle to farm. Like this is just insane, dude. Like, you should be, like, running this way and pushing this lane out and, like, farming this up here and getting ready for the next Roshan to spawn, which it will at some point, and just play this area of the map. Like, stop playing in the enemy triangle, please. Somebody needs to be pushing this top out. Looks like your Venge is, like, the only one that cares. Like, does this Venge need the farm? Not really. And, like, nobody is pushing out bot, or nobody's pushing out mid either. Like, now you're jungling passively instead of keeping the lanes out while you guys are strong. These two people should not be over here because this objective doesn't matter. And like, look at where your team is. Like, you can't just pick a random lane and walk down it and then wait and see what happens. Like, this is not how like you play Dota. It's how low MMR people play Dota. So if you want to get better, don't do this. Like, you need to make coordinated plays like with your team as a team around objectives that matter, which is like top and like the mid tower. Just go YouTube and like search like BSJ order of objectives. I like link this to people all the time. It's all 5 of you need to watch this apparently. I mean, pretty much everybody in Herald and Guardian needs to watch it, so please go watch that. So you guys kind of fight them. Goes okay. I don't know what's happening. It's very uncoordinated Herald stuff. Team's pushing top tower while they're dead. That's okay. Taking the outpost. This is all like reasonable. I'm worried something's gonna go wrong soon. Alright, alright. Nice, nice. That was much better positioning. If you had been positioning like that all game, like your fights would be going better for you. It's like the first time you've had like good positioning in a fight. So good job. Just look to do that more earlier and stop being like on top of your cores. Okay, so you wiped them all, took their buildings. Forcing it. This is not gonna work out, is it? You got close. You got close. I would not do that myself. There's just no reason to. What would have been better? Let's see. Let's see let's see what's going on exactly when you take the racks, right? And you have a choice of what to do next. Okay, so they're respawning 3 heroes and they're respawning another hero in like 10 seconds. At like a high level, you need to understand that this means essentially they have 4 heroes alive. Like you need to start backing out in their base when their like heroes have like 10 seconds left on the timer. Because if you wait until they have 0 seconds left on the timer and then you start backing, they're like TPing in on you and then they're like actually catching you. So like unless you want to fight this Drow when she respawns with these 3 heroes, like you need to be backing like right now. And what you should be doing is just going to the Roshan, right? Which like is going to be up now at this point. So just back, take the free Roshan, and then like push top, take the racks when your team's alive and you have the Aegis, so you just like win the game. It's just auto win. And like low MMR players like make these throws all the time because they just don't play it safe. And you know, if you just want to YOLO and you're having fun as a 5 stack, like so be it. But if you want to like consistently like win more and not throw games like this, like you can't do this. It just throws the game, right? Like the only possible like 2% of games like you actually just win here. Like 10% of games you get the tier 4s and then the game like continues like kind of like this game, and then like 88% of the time like you just like totally throw the game and make it like really really hard on yourself, and like you could even end up losing because of it. So kind of just poor decision making there and not being safe. This Roshan is up, right? Like imagine if they were coordinated. They're not, because it's like Herald guarded. But imagine if they were, right? Imagine you're playing a better team. What if they just like go walk into the Roshan and like take it while you're dead right now? Doesn't this game like just get annoyingly hard after that? Like if you want to avoid that shit, like you just can't make those like dive insane plays without Aegis that you did. They're bad, so they're probably not going to go Rosh right now. But like if they were good, they would. And then this game would just be obnoxiously hard for no reason. Alright, you guys take a big fight without your Venge. Wow, that's pretty lucky. This almost went really bad. This is like kind of on your Venge for not being here. I don't know what this guy's doing off in like solo land with a TP up. Kind of a bad fight to take from you guys because your Venge isn't there, but it works out, which is like kind of lucky. Oh my god. What are you guys doing? Why are you like bum rushing the throne? Like, does everybody forget that Roshan exists? You just have to care more about Roshan. Nobody at low levels cares enough about Roshan. Like, if you watch any major or high MMR Dota, that's like all anybody cares about. Okay, you went and got Rosh here, but, you know, could have just done this automatically. Yeah, you guys are just like trying to like barrel down the lanes. This is so dumb. I mean, alright. There's no reason to like try and backdoor the throne. Like, you just need to walk in as 5 to their base and like take the racks. Or you could just walk down mid as 5 and just take it when there's no backdoor. This kind of just seems like random trolling to me. I'm not sure really what else to say about it other than don't do this. Like, it's really simple. Like, you just need to group up as 5 as a team and like walk down the lanes together. Like, you're like making these weird relocate backdoor plays. Your Storm's dying and now your Bristle's chain feeding because you guys aren't like being patient and like respecting that they have an advantage while you have a dead hero, especially a dead core. You're like running at them, like kind of trying to entice this to happen even though you don't have your BKBs right now. Like, they're just about to come up. Like, right, if you want to know how to win this game, it's to wait till all 5 of your heroes are alive, then walk together down one lane and like just kill the buildings and kill them. Like, they actually can't fight you if you're all together as 5. And the only reason they're still in this game is because you keep letting them take fights where you're not as 5. And you just keep getting picked off. So it's just like really bad discipline, which is like what happens at low MMR Dota, you know? But like how do you get better at it? You just have to force yourself to like be patient. Like what you're doing now is like reasonable. It's just like way late. And yeah, walking uphill here is not what I'm talking about, man. Like this, you can't do this. Like your team is not here. You keep taking bad fights separated from your team. So I'm going to cut it here. Hopefully you get a lot out of this. Definitely go check out the Order of Objectives video. Stop farming the enemy triangle. Fight around your timings, like your item timings. And, you know, care more about Roche. And then if you want to win the game, just group up as 5 instead of all this, like, random plays, like, we're getting picked off one at a time. You're like a 5-stack, right? This is like a random pub with random people. So I feel like I can flame you more for this than I normally would. But, like, if you're a 5-stack and you're playing like this, it's, like, crazy, right? All you need to do is group up as 5, and it's, like, just an auto win. And I'm sure you guys do win this game. Do you win this game? Why does it go on so long? Oh, my God. Well, let's just skip right to the end. See who ends up winning this game. You guys actually lose this game? Basically just going to come down to a random fight. Okay, so you do win, but like, there's no reason to need to go on an extra 30 minutes, you know? You could have ended it way, way long ago. So, hopefully you learned a lot from that. Definitely a lot for you guys to improve on. And definitely look to like pull more in the beginning. You know, that stuff kind of matters. Like chain pulling consistently will just get you a bigger lead earlier. So, thanks for signing up, man. Hopefully you learned a lot. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you're interested in more of my content, please sub to my channel. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment and I usually respond to them. If you're interested in my coaching, check out the link to my Discord in the video description and you can hit me up for coaching. I've got all the information there on how to sign up and I'll see you in the next video.